Many of the phones you can buy these days come with a plethora of lens options, and this one comes with a macro lens. I'm going to use that lens to take some creative shots of this shower puff. Now, don't worry if your phone doesn't come with an inbuilt macro lens. You've got those clip-on lenses that are very easily available. Or maybe you can just use the wide-angled lens or even the default lens that you will certainly have on your phone. You'll be able to get some great effects just by moving further or closer to the subject. One more thing about macro photography though is available light. Now, because very often you're quite close to your subject, that can block out a lot of the ambient light from it, which means that the image can end up a bit noisy, a bit grainy, not as clear as you might like it to be. So having plenty of light around you, and ideally your own light source, can really make a difference to the sharpness and the overall quality of your image. Here's mine. Now, you might think, here's my subject, you might think that shining it from the front would create the best effects, and that would certainly work, but I'm going to try putting my light behind. I'm going to backlight my subject. And the thinking there is that with this webbing of the shower puff, it's going to let a lot of the light through that, even though it's coming from behind, will still give me enough light for a clean shot, but also create some interesting effects as well. Let's see, shall we? So I've got my phone in its ultra macro mode. Let's wait for it to adjust to the exposure. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push right in and see right inside the fibres of this shower puff. Now, some of the fibres that are too close to the lens aren't going to be in focus. But if I just push in, that means I can see inside. You get this real sense of depth. It looks like you're peering into, well, you wouldn't know this was a shower puff. You would think this is a spider's lair or something like that. So let's just move from left to right and just see what is interesting. Okay, so when I come to the edge here, it's nice to explore inside that, but when I come to the edge, I've got some bits of the webbing that are backlit nicely by my light source and create an interesting light a bit here, dark a bit there. We've got this horizon just there. There's a nice bit of variation in that image, which is very pleasing. Let's have another quick look around here, see if there's something similar there. We're getting some interesting shadows on that side too. Not sure if that'll work, but we'll try it. Okay, experiment with height as well, to see if there are any other bits that are worth exploring. Okay, and then once you've had one pass, let's just pick it up, zhuzh it around a little bit more, and go again. And see if that introduces any new shapes, any new textures to explore, like that. I really want to see inside there. There we go, it's a viewer, that's where I want to take a further look. Just have a look around to the outside again. Have a look around this side. There we go. Oh yeah, you see, again, that backlight's just introducing just a bit of variation in the light. There we go. Lots of options there. Let's see how they came out. This frame has got such depth to it. It's like we've got this wave or this knuckle, this arm coming out towards the viewer, but it's out of focus, so our eye's drawn into what's behind it, which is beautifully sharp. This swirling effect I find really compelling. With this image, it feels as though it's a top-down view on some organic metropolis. These skyscrapers coming out of the floor. We've got the streets in between. Again, my eyes being drawn with all of these organic lines to really deep inside the image. Fascinating. There's a lot going on in this image, but I really like it. On the left, we've got this negative space, the background, that creates an interesting shape in its own right. And then we've got the backlight on the edge of the webbing here, just making these lovely little highlights. But then as we move to the right of the frame, we've got this beautiful swirling wave and these dark, complex textures. There might be too much going on in this frame, but I like it all the same. This image brings a real smile to my face. There's something really pleasing about how sharp these lines are. My eyes brought up, it's like this is some kind of watery, organic. This could be some coral under the sea, perhaps. We've got this little bit of background showing through just here. I'm on the fence as to whether I like it or not. It certainly adds some interest, but if you're not a fan of that, it'd be very easy just to crop that corner off and still end up with a really compelling image.